There's a lot of content out there that tells us that leaving our 9 to 5s is the only way we can build something meaningful. However, the more entrepreneurs and creators and founders I meet, the more I'm realizing that they started their journeys long before they ever left their corporate jobs. So, how do they do it? Let's talk about it. One commonality that I noticed is that a lot of them saw their jobs as a launchpad rather than a barrier. And even though I did also leave my corporate job last year, I realized that the turning point wasn't when I actually left. It was way before that. So if you've been feeling stuck, unfulfilled, and wondering how you can build something for yourself without completely uprooting your life, that's what we're going to talk about today as I take you through kind of a typical day in my life as an entrepreneur. I stopped wearing rings for a while, and I'm not sure why because they're my absolute favorite accessories, so I thought I would put some on today. Clearly, I'm a silver girly. Okay, let's go make some coffee first. If you're wondering why there's a cat in the frame, I'm currently cat sitting my friend's 2 cats while they're away, and they're so precious and lovely, but I'm just so not used to being a cat mom because I am a dog mom. I recently got a Nespresso machine, and they actually sent over their collab with The Weeknd. So he has a coffee brand called Samra Origins, and this blend that they sent over, the Togetherness blend, oh my god, it is phenomenal. Look how cute that pot is. It's like very beautifully designed. So this coffee is actually supposedly best enjoyed cold, so I'm gonna put it in this little glass with some ice. Like, are we seeing that level of foam right now? It's like cold foam on a bubble tea. It's like crazy, crazy thick and creamy and frothy. Like, I'm so impressed. How does it do that? Okay, taste test. It's just so good. I don't know how they do that. For years now, taking that leap to quit your job and start a business on your own has been glamorized and played up, and I definitely felt that pressure as well while I was still at my tech job. And yes, while it's great to build something for yourself and really start to create a business that brings meaning to your life and that builds towards your own dreams, that pressure to leave behind your stable salary and quit the job that you worked so hard to get in the first place starts to create this fear and paralysis that I think a lot of us feels. I think we do have to be more careful when we talk about this and actually talk about what it takes to get to that point where you actually can feel comfortable leaving your job, because a lot of the times when you're watching creators, when you're watching, entrepreneurs who create content online talk about quitting their jobs, that singular moment goes viral, but what you don't see are all of the years that they've put into building their soft skills, their hard skills, to verifying their business idea, to talking with other entrepreneurs, like all of the stuff that goes into building a business that they quietly worked on in the background. And before that, even when they were still trying to figure out what they're good at, what their skills are, what they're passionate about, and what they want to build a business around. Either way, the myth is you have to quit to start, which just isn't true. You can start now. You can start today. Start small. Start with that singular first step that snowballs into all of the actions that get you to a place where you're comfortable leaving your job and you're not just taking a blind leap of faith when you have no idea what you want to do at all. Okay, I need to get a little bit of work done. I've been working really hard on writing for my business lately, so even just building up my own personal brand, but also writing my newsletter for my business. On Substack, it's where I do my long form writing and I talk more about personal topics and things that I am learning about fashion, beauty, personal growth, mental health, work. And then my short form newsletter, which goes out every Sunday, called Feel Good Sundays. That one is just talking about career, productivity, growing yourself and how those things connect, and giving you like short snippets or like a digest of easily digestible tips and tricks to help you grow. So if any of those sound interesting to you, I'll have them linked in the description box below. Going back to the mindset shift that we were talking about earlier, it really is about reframing your thinking to see your current reality as an asset rather than a barrier. There's a saying that you probably have heard of before. I always see it in YouTube videos or read it in books, but the saying goes, limitation breeds creativity. A great example of that is buying the new cameras, the new mics, the new editing software isn't going to make you a better YouTuber or videographer or creator. Oftentimes, the best thing you can do for yourself is use what you currently have and allow any limitations that you may have actually make you better at what you do. Whether that is being creative about roundabout ways you can achieve certain things, whether that is just really honing in and getting good at that skill before you purchase the next tool or the next upgrade. So when it comes to your 9-to-5 or your corporate job, think of it as the investor to your next big idea. There's so many things that your current job or position is teaching you to do well, whether that's project management, whether that's marketing, tech, social media, designing, engineering, coding, like whatever it is that you do, it is teaching you both soft and hard skills that you can carry forward into whatever you want to work on next. I would say personally, the best things that my previous job gave me was teaching me how to structure and to properly set goals for my business or that business at the time. So the OKR method, different frameworks. It taught me how to build a Notion dashboard that could actually support a corporate level amount of work. It taught me to time manage, to project manage. So just the overall structure of work and time. Of course, it also gave me stable income. So it allowed me to pay the bills, allowed me to pay for rent, to eat, to take care of myself so that I can actually use that time after work or before work to think of new things that I want to work on. And then there are your habits and your perspectives as well. Those will grow and change and really mold like who you are outside of work as well, but also what kind of worker you are. Those are also things that I'm proudly taking into being an entrepreneur and being a creator now, and they're definitely helping me as I build towards this next chapter in my life. Okay, quick intermission because I actually need to build out a pitch deck for an event that I'm working on for Kinship. Ever since I started Kinship, I have been doing so many more pitch decks, presentation decks, and I really use them to like flesh out ideas, share ideas, but also to pitch to clients. For this event, I really want to create a pitch deck that is going to contain all of the information that both my team and any external people that I hire would need to make sure that the event runs smoothly. I also want to spend some time doing this so that I can create kind of a template for me to reuse for any future productions or events that we run. So I've actually been using Gamma to create my slide decks because their new AI agent just saves me so much time when I'm doing this. So what I'll typically do is I'll create a new project and then just tell the AI agent what it is that I want built and like what I need included. So the prompt that I'm using today is help me create a production deck for the event that I'm running. The objective of this deck is to help my team understand exactly why we're running the event and how to execute it. But it should also inform external shareholders about the event details to open up sponsorship possibilities. It should include pages like the objective, theme and vision, user personas, program, run of the show, branding and partnerships, marketing strategy, budget overview, production plan, and a closing page. One of the best things about Gamma is that you can actually upload documents along with your prompt, whether they are documents filled with the information that you want filled into the deck, or maybe like imagery that you want included, or maybe like your style guide, like whatever it is. Gamma will read that information as it builds whatever it is that you're prompting it to build. So I'll take all the information and essentially build out like the layer, the structure, and the copy of the deck for you if you need it to. And then once it's done, you can actually just go in and edit any of the portions that you need to align it with your specific scenario or event in my case, and then also just to match it better to your branding. They also just launched their API as a part of their recent 3.0 launch. So now you're actually able to connect and integrate your Gamma with tools like Zapier or Make. So for example, if I had a client call and I just pulled the transcriptions and put that into like my CRM, I can set up an automation that takes all that information, buzzes it over to Gamma, and then automatically have Gamma create a presentation deck or a slide deck to send to the client. I love when an AI tool actually does what it's supposed to do. So I'm pretty glad I found Gamma kind of right as I started building Kinship and this new brand, because it really has been such a lifesaver. So if you want to try Gamma, I'll have it linked in the first line of my description. Okay, I'm gonna send out that pitch deck to just a few of the people that I'm working with on this project for them to review. But I think next I need to work on a mood board for a project that, for another project that I'm working on, because there are just 5 million things going on right now and it's a little bit overwhelming, but it's fine. I have the tools and I have the skills to handle it on. Those are my affirmations for today. Okay, I actually changed because I need to go outside and just get away from my computer for a little bit. It is about 2 p.m. right now, so I thought this would be a good opportunity for me to go out, run some errands. I actually need to go pick something up for one of the projects that I'm working on, so work related, I guess. And then I thought I would just take Mika out to the park because it is gorgeous today. We're having like a random heat wave, like it's 26 or 27 degrees outside. Like, what's going on? I think this is the last hurrah of summer. So I got changed. I put on shorts and a t-shirt and we're just gonna go spend a little bit of time outdoors. Okay, wow, I am so glad that I came outside because the weather is just perfect. Like, it's that perfect warm, hot summer day without it being overbearingly hot. Something else that I would tell myself if I could go back to the version of me that hadn't yet quit my job and was really freaking out about the process of it all is that I don't need to have the stakes be so high, because they're not. The stakes really aren't that high. Lower the stakes, lower that pressure for myself, and like understand that I don't need to have it all figured out right now. Nobody just overnight comes up with that $1 million idea that turns you into an entrepreneur and a rich entrepreneur and make you really successful. It's just not how it works. You have to start by learning and experimenting and researching and asking the right questions. And while it feels like I spent a lot of years just like not quitting my job and not starting my business, what I really was doing was taking the steps necessary to get to that point where I can quit my job and I can start a business. And the thing is, everyone's timeline is going to be different, and that's okay. That's how it should be. Enjoy the time that you have right now, enjoy the security that you have right now, and take advantage of everything that you can be learning. When it comes to actually coming up with that $1 million idea, one of the best books that I've read on this is $1 Million Weekend by Noah Kagan. I actually did an entire video on everything that I learned from the book. So if you don't want to read the book and you just want to hear my learnings from it, I'll link it in the cards above and in the description box below. But I would say the first phase of that book has 3 parts to it. The first is just to figure out what is your freedom number? What is that monthly revenue goal that you want to achieve that will make you feel secure? And the second step is to think of yourself as a problem solver, not a business owner. So when you're ideating for any type of business, whether you're looking to be a freelancer, an entrepreneur, a contractor, whatever it is, a consultant, think of the problems that you can solve. Third step in that first phase is to map out your zone of influence. And what that really means is to figure out who in your network, in your circles, can you potentially talk to or count on when it comes to creating this new idea and validating the idea. There are so many other great tips in this book. So again, I'll put my video in the cards and in the description, and I'll link the book in the description as well if you just want to grab it and read it yourself. But that's kind of how you start. Like, it really is that simple. You take advantage of the skills you have right now. You think about the problems that you have had in the last while or the problems that other people may be having and figure out what you can create solutions for. I kind of got into a flow state earlier before I cooked dinner when I first got home, and I really want to finish the piece of writing that I was working on, so I think that is the plan for this evening, which kind of actually segues into my last point, which I personally like to call building in the margins, or finding the time even when you're working a 9-to-5 to work on the things that will get you to the place that you want. Those things being the research, the learning, the reading, the writing, the practice, the ideating, the validating, like everything that goes into getting that first idea into your head and then out of your head onto paper. I think that this is probably the hardest part, or at least the part that feels like it has the most resistance for most people. I've heard a lot of people tell me, hey, I just don't think I can dedicate that time like outside of work. And that's why I feel like I need to quit my 9-to-5, because it feels like I need to like leave this one thing behind before I can move on to doing this next thing. But I think the barrier there really is actually the same as before. You need to switch your mindset to imagine that your work right now is a part of the process of building something new. Yes, you do have way less time and you're forced to work within those specific time boundaries, but it is possible. I did it, tons of other entrepreneurs have done it, and you can do it as well. At this point, I think the best thing you can do for yourself is to identify your limiting beliefs. What are the things that you are telling yourself that are actually holding you back? Typically, it's not your lack of time or resources, and there's actually a different limiting belief that is holding you back. When it comes to your limiting beliefs, often they are just things that we have made up in our head as a way to stop us from experiencing change and growth. Because we as humans, we crave familiarity, we crave comfort, we crave the same thing, and we are habitual by nature. But that also means that if you want to build something, if you want to create more fulfillment for yourself, you do have to start to let some of that comfort go in order to grow and change. I hope this video was helpful and that it found you at the right time. I definitely wish I had more videos like this to watch when I was going through the period where I was contemplating like leaving my job, trying to figure out the timeline, trying to figure out what I would do. Like, you have time. Use that time wisely, use your current resources wisely, and when you're able to reframe your mindset, it's just gonna get you so much further, and before you know it, you're going to get to a place where you feel comfortable to take that next step. Anyways, I'm gonna eat my food before it gets cold. I'm gonna also finish writing this article so that I can chill for the rest of the night and read. Make sure you go and check out Gamma if you are creating a pitch deck, a presentation deck, or even social media content. It really does it all, and it does it so well. So I have that linked in the description box below. But other than that, I hope you're having an amazing day wherever you are in the world, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!